Hey, how's it going? So I'm starting out on my hike. I don't have the internet to do this as a stream, so I'm going to do this as video. You can see the lodge back here. Sunrise Loop to Valley View starts out over here, and so what I've got to do is basically try to get, just along this path. A lot of these paths, let's see if this is the right path. This path kind of comes around. This one might be going to the parking lot. Maybe I'll walk around this way and then up over this way, I think. And there's a path, and what I was saying earlier is you go across this street road, and then if you walk down, you can walk into town. Otherwise, you cross the street, you start going up this hiking trail. And I don't know if it's paved or partially paved or not, because the path into town is paved. So I'm basically just gonna walk up here and take a look. That is what I'm gonna go up, which isn't that much for hiking, but for me, it's a lot. So I'm gonna have to try to get the best that I can in terms of trying to get to that spot. So it's a little bit hairy here, trying to get around because all these cars are coming in, and the path, I guess I walked on the wrong side of the path over there. The path is just a little bit difficult to get. I guess I was supposed to stay up on the left, but it's really from the other side here. So anyhow, it gets real busy. As you can see here, we're just gonna try to come across on this path with all the cars and everything. You gotta just sort of try to figure out, what the best way to get there is. So okay, so I'm gonna head up over here. Even just hiking just a little bit gets me tired. And there has been some clouds today, and we've gotten some rain in the past couple days, so it's cooler by a little bit today. Oh man. I'm gonna make sure I can try to get this going, just to get onto the trail, really. When you're driving around some of these areas, you don't realize how much you can go up and down just in the roads and stuff. Okay, so there's the map up there. Oh man. So the entrance is right here on this dirt path, and that's what I'm gonna take. I really don't know how far I can go. I'm not in excellent shape. Far from it, really. But okay, so you can see we've climbed probably 30 to 40 feet. Okay. It looks like we're here, not here. There's a black X here where the trails merge. So the Valley View Loop, it's actually where at Carroll's Trailhead. They say the elevation here is just under 6,000 feet, 5,975 feet. And what we're gonna try to do, there's a bathroom up here. So I'm gonna try to make this Valley View Loop. Does it give the miles? Multi-use trail. There's no scale, which is fine. here's the total map of the ski area and some of the runs, and summer trails and stuff. Okay, Mountain Manners Matter, brought to you by Blaine County. I don't know if it's Blaine County, it's BCRD. Anyway, blind, turn ahead, slow down, stay in control, distraction free. I'm gonna have this thing as a distraction, so I'm just gonna maintain awareness of your surroundings. I'm gonna use the video to do the surroundings. I can see behind me a little bit. Okay, yield to horses. Any horses running up and down here, I gotta let them go by. Most importantly, be kind and take your time. Step to the side. Don't ride or stride aside. You've got people mountain bike and stuff like that. Downhill yields to uphill. I'm gonna say except bikes, but it's technically not true. But when bikers come on down, I always just get off the trail because they're having too much fun. That's just how I do it. But sometimes, otherwise everybody gets confused. So anyway, but you don't want people bombing down the hill when you're walking up. That's why some of the mountain bike trails stay separate from the hiking trails. Anyway, let's start out on this. As we go up to the Valley View, we'll get to the bathroom, then we'll get to the trail connector, and then we'll come back down the other side, Valley View Loop. And I don't technically think that's a bathroom. Don't get confused. It's actually just a bench to sit down on. I'm remembering that right now. Restroom has man and woman. Bench has bench. So there's just a bench to sit down. I got a little confused there. I was thinking that's just a place to go to the bathroom. It's not. So if you have to go to the bathroom, obviously the lodge is there, or if you come from in town. I don't know about parking or anything. So, oh, there's a butterfly. The butterflies fly around here. I'll keep a awareness of the time on the video and just see how we're doing on this hike. I remember growing up, as you do some hikes, when you got to shorter distance hikes, you thought, now this one goes off this way, but Valley View, okay, so this is Valley View, which comes back down. So I think I gotta keep Sunrise Loop to Valley View. I gotta go look at the map again. See, Valley View, Sunrise Loop. Did I say it was? I thought Valley View was the second part. So that's why I'm wondering. I gotta come back and look at this a second time. So I'm here. Oh, so Sunrise is the second. Somehow on the map, I thought Sunrise Loop was the first. So I take Valley View, Saddle Road Connector. Okay, so I didn't see that in yellow. That short one off there is Saddle Road. Valley View, and then Sunrise Loop comes back around. I guess they changed it. On this map, there's just White Clouds Trail and Valley View. There's no Sunrise Loop. The one online has Sunrise Loop, so I don't know. We're just gonna kind of do Valley View. We'll go Valley View to the right, curves back around, and we won't take White Clouds Trail. Somehow I thought they must have changed the name or something. Because on the map I wanted to make a left, but unless I come back around and do the front part, no, I don't want to do the front part. I want to stay right and then come back around left. All right. I don't have hiking boots on. I don't have trail running shoes on. I basically just have sort of loosely, soft shoes. They do have a good sole on them though, which is good because they're good for walking on pavement trails. I wouldn't actually recommend these for very much or any hiking because you get that sort of leather, that micro fiber kind of stretch material, and anytime you pivot on a rock or you're on a slope, your foot's sort of slanting down, the base of your foot rolls or slides curls off the edge of the shoe. It's uncomfortable, but it also, you know that fabric is gonna break down faster. I remember watching I think it was University of North Carolina game. Zion Williamson had that new shoe. He went right to the center of the court. Not the court, the center of the around the three-point line, pivoted, and the shoe just totally gave way. I got a bug on me there for a second. The bugs are landing, a yellow bug. I got a yellow bug on me. I don't know what kind. You can see here, we're climbing up. We have some dark clouds for some light rain. It's possible we've gotten some lightning. Here's what the trail looks like. Just a moderate amount of rocks. Not too much. But we are gonna probably have, hopefully not too many switchbacks. You can see here, the trail sort of winds around as opposed to taking a turn here and going up and then going back and then going up, which are called switchbacks. You climb a lot more elevation and you don't just go simply straight up the face of the slope or the hill that you're doing. This one is a little different. You can see here on a hiking trail, whoever forges the trail, makes the trail, you can see them trying to do sort of a switchback here. You'd go sort of up this hill here. You'd be a lot more tired faster. You'd probably have to take some breaks, but you'd get up there at a higher elevation. Not a higher elevation, but you go higher just for shorter distances. This way, you sort of wind around. You get little different side views that are more gradual. It's better for somebody like me to wind around as opposed to getting aggressive on the switchbacks. That was the other point I was gonna say. Some people, they get so good athletically in an area like this or even Colorado. I don't mean even Colorado, I just mean somewhere where there's hiking trails. They start out hiking and pretty soon they get that uppity feeling, like they're feeling so good to go hiking. They just want to start running. And pretty soon they say, why go on an 8 or 9 mile hike when, you know, I can just run the trail for an hour and 10 minutes or something. 45 minutes trail run. Theoretically, you can take a break if you go up switchbacks or something that really gets kind of steep. But, for something that winds around, you don't really go up and down. You generally go up till you get somewhere and then you go down. You have to watch your feet on the rocks and the trail, but it sort of overall helps for trail maintenance. You won't do stuff that's way too rooty, all the roots and the rocks, but and then they just sort of stay in really good shape exercising. They buy different shoes, so stuff like that. It's also why people do the mountain biking. Mountain biking, though, you can go a lot longer distance. Here we have a trail foul here. Somebody has left a bag, inevitably with their dog poo, as opposed to just dog poo on the trail. I don't really have a comment on it either way. It's just something that people have to decide what to do. If you're gonna bag on a trail or there's gonna be a lot of dogs, it's just sort of what people have to deal with. I suppose gradually over time, if there's lots of refuse on the trail, people just say, I'm not gonna hike it anymore. That's pretty much how it happens. Let me just fix this real quick. So we are at about 15 minutes. You can see here on a hiking trail, for somebody like me who spends most of my time at home, I'm not really exercising a lot. 15 minutes for me means a difficult 15 minutes back. So I always have to remember that. When you're younger, you know, you get that uppity feeling for exercise, for hiking. You think 15 out, 15 back. That's nothing. That's less than 30 minutes, right? But for me, I'm thinking, wow, if I need to get to my car, I don't have a car right now. You know, 15 minutes in, you're sort of arranging sort of your first sort of curve here on sort of a hillside of what you're gonna climb. So if you're new to the area, you come up for a couple days, you got to remember that first day's elevation, that impact, the heart, the lungs, the breathing. And I've changed, you know, I don't push myself on the hike as much as I might have before, where you sort of march off and you go until you just can't really breathe anymore. And you say, okay, I got to take a break. I got to have a sip of water. I probably would have never thought to bring soda, but that's actually what I'm gonna have a sip right now of, is have a sip of soda. So I also feel better because I don't have that real hot weather today. It's been here. We have a little bit of the rain and cloud cover that just basically feels pretty good. So when it gets so dry, so hot, you get a couple days of rain, it packs stuff down a little bit, you get less of the dust. So see here, that area back over there really sort of makes some of this stuff kind of fun. And you can see here's what looks like some type of a buggy trail, and there's obviously some type of structure up there, some type of building or structure, some type of Jeep or motorbike could ride up this from this structure. So if they're doing something with snow, and there's a mountain biker up there just going down over there, that's what road they would take, you know, on here on an all-terrain vehicle. Because there is a golf course over here too. So it changes the hiking trail. Sometimes people that are more enthusiasts, they go farther out where you won't see this. But then again, some places have motorbikes that go up and down the trails, and they can go for long distances because they're obviously gasoline powered. Come around here, sort of the local, not local living here, just you're really sort of still in town. You can hear some of the trucks, construction that comes through here, as opposed to being somewhere and only really hearing birds or the wind rustling through the leaves, you know, somewhere out farther. You get sort of out there, say, I want to hike up there. You know, that's going to take all day. You have to leave early in the morning. You know, how much hiking would I have to do to, you know, find the trails back up over there? There's not a lot of trees. You know, if it's hot, if it's cold, what time of year it is, how often do I want to do that? Obviously not often a lot, but preparing, not necessarily preparing, just feeling up for something like that. So you can see there's a structure on top of that secondary mountain there, right there. That may be what they talk about as an early ski lift. I think it's quoted as the first ski lift. I can't really remember though how everything gets classified. Oh, definitely feel my back. Now, sometimes you get up here, you say, why don't I just run down there? It's so steep, but there's no trail. There's rocks, there's bushes, little leaves, you can get little thorns. It all just sort of says, wait a minute, you know, I got in the middle of this. On other areas, there's cliffs and things that people don't really realize. So I'm just gonna start heading down to that sign or that bench or whatever if I see it, but somehow there's no bench. On the way there, you know, there's a rock face, you know, 30 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet down. You say, wait a minute, I gotta hike all the way back up. I should just stay on the trail. That's what they're there for. Look at the map. Stay on the trail. So hopefully we're coming around this curve and we're gonna curve back up around. There is supposed to be a bench up here, but we gotta go here and then we gotta go all the way back over there. So I'm talking about hikes, and the golf course is over there with the road. So I actually would definitely recommend this if you're thinking about starting to hike or wanting to go hiking, even trail running, you're not really into it. You want to see what it's like. This is a really good example because it has a pretty good incline to it. And you can definitely get an idea as to, you know, is this something that I would do for 5 or 6 hours and then have a lunch break and then head back on down to where you park the car at the trailhead. You know, if you feel good, you feel like you like pacing yourself, going up some of these, and it's part of your regular routine. That's what I was trying to get at over there. I wouldn't recommend trying to train to go hiking. I would add it to whatever your current activity is, and then you would just gradually do more as you became more enthusiastic about it, as opposed to saying I'm going to train for a hike, you know, like somebody would train for the marathon or train to do some endurance athlete event, a triathlon or, you know, something like that. Just say, hey, you know, I live in this area, there's trails, I'd like to go walk on them. You know, I've got sort of these old tennis shoes. You know, I went on a little hike. Why don't I go get some hiking shoes or some hiking boots, see what they're like, see how comfortable they are. You know, what about a backpack? You know, what type of foods should I pack? Am I going to take an energy bar, water only, a fast energy nutrient? I remember goo sort of comes in a little container, you squeeze it out, get that 100 calories of carbohydrates, you know. So, and then it's sort of fun, you know, you pack a lunch or you sort of know the area a little bit. I did some of that stuff with my dad and some friends, classmates growing up. You really kind of got to be outside. Now that I'm older, I've had a lot more encounters with animals. And I don't exercise really. It's not real part of my regular routine to exercise. So you have more encounters with animals and things. You sometimes say, you know, it's a little stressful. You know, if I saw some type of large animal or even a fast scurrying animal, you know, how would I feel about continuing a hike? Because a 5-hour hike, a 7-hour hike for the day, you don't really have that. I'm just gonna run back. Even now, I'm at 24 minutes onto this trail. We can't really see the lodge anymore. We're rounded out here. You have to say to yourself, you know, where is that intensity level gonna bring me? So, and all the other things. You can twist an ankle, you can run out of water, you can get sick from a snack, you can just simply not feel good. You can run into some bushes that, you know, make you think you're dizzy or something, you know, without even realizing it. All those things are adventurous. When I was growing up, I thought of them primarily as adventurous, but I also thought of squirrels and chipmunks as mountain animals that, you know, were looking for nuts all the time. And so if they act more aggressive, sometimes you find yourself saying, you know what, I'm gonna go for something short and quick. And we're getting some rain now. You can see the rain falling on this trail, and I'm gonna stick with my video just to see the difference of this trail when it rains. That was the other thing I used to worry about, getting out on an early trail or early hike. What kind of socks did I have? Wool socks. Soft wool socks that if my feet got wet, I could sustain, you know, lower blisters for longer periods of time. You know, keep my feet warm in an area that could get cold with the rain very quickly. What type of stuff would you have in your backpack? How would you keep it from being totally drenched? Is it in a Ziploc bag or some type of other compartment that won't get super soggy? Some places it doesn't just rain for a couple minutes, it starts raining for the entire hike, the entire day, more than a day. When you get back to your car, your ankles, your socks, your pants, your legs if you wore shorts, just totally caked in mud. Not mud puddle type stuff, but just dried or damp. Say, wait a minute. You know, I'm so glad we get back to the car. I just gotta get my boots off, get in the car, and start driving home. So, sometimes they have little pieces of wood in the trail so that when that rain comes, it doesn't just go all the way down the trail. It moves off to the side of the trail. So here we are, and you can see the clouds up there. I can really feel it in my back. I can really feel it. Just say, wait a minute, I'm not doing much exercise. I definitely feel better walking. I've been doing a lot more walking, but I'm definitely gonna have to call my mom when I get back to the lodge and say, hey, come pick me up. Maybe I'll use rain as the excuse. I'm not gonna take the bus part way and walk the rest of the way. I'll be too tired. Rain is sort of an excuse, but sometimes it's really not. Get my hair, it's a little bit more wet. You can see we're coming back over here where we were. I'm gonna start thinking about that bench. The only problem that I have, when I get to the bench is gonna be wet. Hiked all the way up here to find a wet bench. I'm gonna sit on the wet bench. Oh, man. Then my pants get wet. I'm at about 30 minutes right now. You can see the trail that I've hiked up from down there. That's sort of the second 15 minutes of this hike. You can see the water accumulating on the trail. We don't have the runoffs. And this is the great part about this. Golfers and golf carts are going right up over there. It's definitely not, way out somewhere. You got to drive to a trailhead or somewhere. It's basically right in town. I've got the rain. The rain is sort of sustaining at this point. Just as soon as it ends raining, it can dry off. I'm gonna get another sip of soda right here. I can see the bench. The bench is up there. So it'll definitely be wet by the time I get there. The Coca-Cola. I filled it up earlier. It does taste good. Oh, I hear something. Some type of bird or something making a fast, repetitive sound. Rainwater in my hair somehow feels good. I did put on suntan lotion before coming out here. Sure enough, it rains. Ants I see on the ground, maybe collecting that water. The trail is almost entirely covered with rainwater now, so I really feel the difference in my legs. As you see here, we're basically going straight up this hill now. This little ravine down here, you can't really cut across it here. You got to kind of go up and around. So ironically, we're going straight up a hill here to get to this ravine and then sort of switch to the left. You don't notice it in the trail because you're winding back around, but we're basically going right up the side of this ravine. It's not my preference. My back will hurt. I'll definitely be tired when I get to that bench. We got some lightning, some thunder. You can hear it there. Maybe we'll get a lightning. We'll just wait for a second. We don't get any lightning right away. So lightning's a possibility. We'll just sort of keep our eyes out. My hips, definitely not feeling the best. Here's a plant I would recommend just staying away from. I'm obviously close to it, but it's brown. This type of plant shoots up. You want to stay away from that, I think. Usually it's just one that comes up and it can go kind of high. So stay away. But that one has brown. Normally they're sort of a light green color. They're out here. Maybe there might be some lightning today. I'm definitely not an expert in lightning because there's just simply not a lot I can do about it. are the maintenance people for the golf course. They're probably going to call golfing for the day. You get to drive the cart in. You get to have a sandwich, soda, or whatever you want to drink, a lemonade, an iced tea, an Arnold Palmer drink. Make it a nice afternoon. It is expensive though. All the tea times and the lunches. I haven't actually done it myself, but. All right, so here's the bench. It's damp, it's wet. We have the mountain. We have the lodge, the parking lot. It does look nice. And I'm not gonna sit on it. All that hiking, and the bench is wet. So we just keep our hiking legs going. As we come around here, we can see the golf course, and we can see that structure there, that round structure, which I want to look at a little bit more. There's some gating on it, some type of pole, so it's obviously still used, still whatever it's used for, I don't know. You can see the bus out there turning the corner at the intersection, wherever that is, if I can get that right. Oh man, what it would have been like to sit down for just a couple minutes. There will be a second bench, but I assume with the continued rain. But you can see here on this part of the trail has either started to dry already, or there just hasn't been that much rain on this side. So just sort of keep going. You can see there that cement structure, so, and the golf course up here. So look at that flag up there, that whole golf course, whole flag flying up there. It looks kind of cool from this distance. Oh, just rolled my foot just a little bit. You say, wow, I'm so thankful for those hiking feet that don't break or twist my ankle on a trail. We're at about 38 minutes into this, and I've got a ways to go. Not a full ways, but a ways to go. We got to get to that second bench and then come on back to the trail. But I'll tell you what, many people who go hiking would prefer this weather over the hot and dry weather right in the middle of the day. Somehow it's cooler, it's damp without the humidity. It's because it's raining. You get a little bit of, rain in your hair. You basically just feel a little bit more refreshed. But like I said, you feel refreshed, and I've just about rolled my foot twice because I'm so much more relaxed, as opposed to focusing on the heat, the sun, and sort of steadying every step on the hike. Not because of roots and stuff, just because of the heat and the just sort of the gradual trail. Sometimes when there's a bunch of roots and rocks, you focus on it differently. But when it's hot in the middle of the day, you just kind of basically take each step thinking about it so you don't roll an ankle, and it steadies your whole leg. That rainwater comes, you're like, wow, I feel relaxed, refreshed, it's cool. It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be, and you relax the lower legs, the ankles a little bit, and you just sort of say, whoa. That's why having a pair of hiking boots or hiking shoes, something that can help that ankle and that support of the foot. Oh, we're getting much more rain now. Piece of rainwater went right in my ear. Jesus. Oh, man. Gosh. almost be worried about temperature right now. It's definitely getting everything wet. My back will be cold in a minute. You almost get that uppity. Let's increase that running. My phone's dripping. I gotta end there. Hope you're doing good. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.